If you're anything like me, I was desperate to know, how do I know when it's time? So we're gonna go over clear signs of true labor. Hi, my name is Dancee Pinkston, also known as Fearless Mama, and on this channel I love to talk about intentional motherhood, mindset, and natural pregnancy and birth topics. So feel free to follow along by clicking the red subscribe button down below. With that being said, let's get started on this video. Every first-time mom especially has a very hard time at knowing when it's time, when you're in true labor, when it's time to go to the hospital, the birth center, etc. The body has been preparing for months, and contractions can start up daily at certain times of the day, only to have stopped by morning. That was the case for me. Before true labor begins, cervical dilation and effacement really means nothing and can give either false hope or be very discouraging. Cervical checks done by your healthcare provider can actually cause uterine irritability, causing false contractions, bleeding, and cramping, which can be super confusing and maybe even scary, as that was the case for me and my first false alarm trip to the hospital as a first-time mom. Typically, you will know when you are in true labor not even knowing your cervical dilation number at all. A cervical dilation number is mainly for your healthcare provider to legally admit you into the hospital and to go by something else other than the fact that you're saying that you are in true labor, having beneficial contractions which are increasing cervical change. Because the truth is, they can't feel what you are feeling. I encourage you to trust your intuition and trust your body. You don't need someone to tell you that you are in fact in true labor. And trust me, you will know. Maybe not that you're in labor, but you will know that something's up and something's different. So listen to that mama voice of yours. But all in all, it is very helpful to follow these rules for distinguishing true labor versus prodromal or false labor. So the best way to know that you are in true labor is definitely by the type of contraction. So let's talk about the timing of contractions. True labor contractions are going to be regular minutes apart and go to shorter in length. On the other hand, false labor contractions are irregular in minutes apart and end up being stagnant. Another good way to indicate if this is true labor or false labor is the change in motion, either going from standing to sitting or laying or vice versa. If you change your motion, either you've been having a hard day, you've been standing up, and if you sit down, it's true labor when they keep continuing in regular progression. It's false labor if it stops the progression or becomes or is still irregular. Another good indicator to distinguish true labor versus false labor is the location that it's happening. So in true labor, a contraction usually radiates from back to front and wraps around of the entire core, even in the upper thighs. False labor contractions usually only happen in the abdomen. Last but not least, the strength of the contraction can determine if it's true or false. So in true labor, the strength of the contraction obviously strengthens over time. False labor contractions are weak and usually do not grow stronger over time. Quickly pointing out, sometimes you can develop an irritated uterus. An irritated uterus meaning causing contractions from being active too much, having cervical checks, being dehydrated, or consuming something funky. So a good thing to do would be to obviously rest, drink water, and take a warm bath. And then follow the rules for distinguishing true versus false labor contractions. Early labor, or what is known as latent labor, can last about 20 hours for the first-time mom. So when you're in this phase, the main recommendations are to rest and relax and eat and do the things you love most for the big marathon of your nearing birth. Unless you have a history of precipitous labors or abnormally fast labors like I do, and unless you're having strong 5-minute apart contractions, there's usually no need to rush out yet. If you are having several extra signs other than true labor contractions, congratulations! You are most likely deeper into the early labor phase and hopefully moving quickly to active labor. Every stage of labor, such as the early and active phase mentioned, has signs and recommendations by experts on what to do to promote an easier labor, which I would love to talk about in another video. But for right now, that's all I have for you in this video. Thanks for watching. Congratulations on your expected little one or little ones, and see you in the next video.